when I hear names like the Polo Bar or Fort Charles or the corner store, they don't put fear in me. But New York is a whole different beast, I always like to say. The caliber of the guests that we get are the ones that aren't used to hearing no. Well, they never see how hard it is or what I have to go through to make this reservation. Gain my network and build it and just really cultivate what I really like to for guests to experience. 13 years. My name is Richard Branch, and welcome to the Waldorf Astoria, New York. Being a concierge has this lore, this glory, and I get to transfer that over into the hospitality world and make things that may seem impossible realistic. But New York is a whole different beast, I always like to say. People actually come and know where they want to go, what they want to do, so they kind of give you a blueprint. But all those places that they want to go and see are the most challenging to get into. I really have taken time to, gain my network and build it and just really cultivate what I really like to for guests to experience, whether it's something off, one of my favorite dive bars that I'm like, you gotta go see this, or a favorite attraction that nobody really pays attention to. Those things you really can't comprehend. But building your contacts and your network in New York City is the name of the game. I always say that the more contacts you have, the easier your job becomes. So that's, I feel, was my claim to success. When I hear names like the Polo Bar or Fort Charles or the corner store, they don't uh, they don't put fear in me. It's like I already have a list or a tier system of how high I may need to go to get this reservation for a guest. It's brought a lot of light to restaurants, which is great, or, New York staples, attractions in the city. Um, but it's also improved our positioning because instead of me having to go into every individual place, there's an influencer that will now tell me about all the dishes and all the things to look out for when there's, say, the Thanksgiving Day parade or uh, a thing about the Statue of Liberty, something, minute, but really helps us as concierge. And of course, I still need to visit these places, but it gives me a much more finer lens of the ins and outs of their operation. When you have everyone asking for the same place, I feel that it's very important for me to put myself in the restaurant shoes and the venue shoes so I can understand that when they're asking for this place, it may only have 9 tables. It may only have, a certain number of covers that they can do in a day. And when the guest returns to me or asks me for that request, I can give them confidence and saying, all right, this is what we're dealing with, but also giving them the optimism that we're going to try to make this happen. Well, they never see how hard it is or what I have to go through to make this reservation. Uh, I don't plan on having any more kids, but sometimes I have to promise my next board to these places just to get in our VIPs. um, I personally make a point if I need to walk into a restaurant to talk to the maitre d', to talk to a manager, I'm gonna do it in efforts to get this reservation for our guests. But the guest is just gonna see it's been confirmed at this time, at this number of party size, and they're just gonna be thankful. But we really have to run through the ringer to try to get these requests. And it's not just restaurants, it can be, some type of bag or some type of item they can't find anywhere around the world, but I have been able to source it for them. I emphasize this every single time that when I got my keys, I felt like I was a concierge again for the first time. You know, your network becomes larger than life, which it really is, you know, spans all across the world. We have guests that travel all across the world. And if they tell me that their next stop is going to be in Budapest or Paris or any country, I have a contact there that can say, hey, this person is going to be staying at your hotel. Can we make sure to do some surprise and delights and take care of them? Or just say, hey, I think you should visit this place as you're in the city if you have time. Because when I had an opportunity to visit, it was one of my favorite destinations. And it was also an insider tip from my local concierge. You know, luxury and Waldorf are really two different elements, but the same. This property has so much history, so much expectations as we reopen, and we really want to deliver not just top service, but go above and beyond from what someone may have experienced 20 years ago, or have a if they had their wedding here, if they've had their, bridal shower. We want to go above and beyond of what this used to be. And I think they did an amazing job at uh, including the old with the new. The caliber of the guests that we get are the ones that aren't used to hearing no. And that is kind of where, if I will, I shine. I love to not hear no's. I love to try to get that yes 100% of the time. And if it isn't a yes, then my second alternative is probably better than your first. I thrive under pressure, and being in hospitality, and especially in this luxury market, you get a lot of people that test you. And I love getting requests that I may not have gotten before, or that just are so out of the box. You really have to think out of the box. It challenges your thinking and your tools and how you get up to this request, if you will. So those things, it fuels me because, for one, it may give me a contact that I never had before, and it stretches me to the ceiling of making that request possible.